Hey guys, Natasha here from Natasha Brooks Fitness. Wanted to talk to you really quickly about something that is kind of taking the health and fitness world by storm, and it is the notion of clean eating. Now, if you've never really heard about it, sorry, had to adjust myself there. If you've been doing any type of research into weight loss or trying to make your life a little healthier, you've definitely come across clean eating. And there's a lot of questions about what it is, and wanted to kind of touch base on that and give you some tips on how to make the transition in your own life. So clean eating means could mean different things to different people. Most people say it is consuming foods in their most natural state most often. For me, it's basically just trying to avoid highly processed foods and making sure I eat my veggies, because we all love our veggies, right? So here's some quick 5 tips on how to make a transition over into clean eating. And remember, you can always read more about this on my blog, and I will make sure I post the link down in the comments. So tip number 1, cook more often. Guys, listen, the more you cook at home, the less likely you are to stop at a drive-thru or somewhere else and pick up something really quickly. Now, I personally don't cook every day. I really may only cook twice a week, but I cook in batches and in bulk. I'm a pretty boring person, so eating the same thing over and over really doesn't bother me. But if you're someone who needs something different, you can always do batch cooking on the weekend. So, tip number 2. Read the labels on the items that you're buying. And this kind of took the world by storm a few years ago, especially when it came to some of the processed foods like high fructose corn syrup and a couple of other things. I tend to try to stay things that have 5 ingredients or less and that I can pronounce them all. Once you start getting into those multi-syllable words, you're talking about things that have been developed in a lab or in a factory, and they really aren't good for your body. Number 3. Yeah, 3. Stay away from highly processed foods. So this kind of ties in with the tip with reading the label. Anything that's been overly processed in a factory, most of the nutrients have been stripped from it, and so you're really doing your body a disservice by consuming them. Tip number 4, you want to stay away from artificial flavors and artificial sweeteners. Again, guys, these things have been developed in a lab or in a factory, and they really have no nutritional value for your body, and it actually makes your body end up craving more things that are also sweet or are the nutritional value that you might be lacking, and then you still consume some other things that are not really good for you, and that kind of is like this whole cycle of things that just don't work well for your body. Number 5, and before I tell you what the 5th tip is, I'm going to tell you this one is really hard for me because I'm a procrastinator and I am inherently lazy, and so it's balancing your macros. So nutrients are your carbs, your fats, and your protein. And ideally you want to have a good balance of the 3. And in modern day society, our carb intake seems to be a little bit higher than it would be preferred. Okay, it's a lot higher than would be preferred. So getting that in balance and actually tracking and what you're eating can help with that. There's a lot of other things, and if you continue watching throughout the week, I'm going to keep hinting and giving more tips on how to make the transition into clean eating. But most importantly, you got to have fun, and it has to taste good. So stick around, keep watching, and I'll give you guys some tips on how to do that. Have a wonderful night. Talk to you soon.